House Bywater is a noble house from the Crownlands. We currently don't know much about their early history, but given their involvement during the reign of Maegor the Cruel, in all likelihood they did predate Aegon's conquest of Westeros. While we do not know their house words, some sources have suggested that they blazon their arms with fretty blue on white, 3 silver fish on a blue chief. Some have also speculated their seat is located near the shores of Blackwater Bay or the Blackwater Rush, given the name of their house indicates some connection to water. Another school of thought entirely is House Bywater is a house raised up from bastardy, given the bastards of the Crownlands have traditionally been given the name Waters. Thus, it's not beyond reason to speculate that the Bywaters have risen up, adding by to the start of their former baseborn name. In 48 AC, when King Maegor the Cruel began to lose his grip on power as the realm began to turn against him, with many former loyal lords now courting his nephew, and in the eyes of many rightful King Jaehaerys. House Bywater were one of the very few lords who gathered in King's Landing at Maegor's command, but when Maegor then mysteriously died upon the Iron Throne, the Bywaters fled to the capital, fearing recompense from the new King Jaehaerys and his supporters for remaining loyal to Maegor till the bitter end. The most notable member of House Bywaters was Sir Jacelyn Bywater, who often went by the nickname Iron Hand. At the start of the main book series, in 298 AC, Jacelyn is a serving officer of the City Watch of King's Landing and the captain of the Mud Gate. Jacelyn is described as a tall man, with a lantern jaw and deep-set eyes with a prominent brow and salt and pepper hair, suggesting he is perhaps of middle age. He has an iron hand strapped to his right wrist where he lost his own hand, hence the nickname Iron Hand. He is considered brave and honourable by Lord Varys, but seen as rigid by the corrupt Janos Slynt, the commander of the City Watch, in 298 AC. We do not know much about Jacelyn's early history, other than that he received his knighthood from King Robert I Baratheon personally for his valour at the Siege of Pike during the Greyjoy Rebellion in 289 AC. It is believed it was during the Siege of Pike that Jacelyn lost his right hand. During the events of A Clash of Kings, Sir Jacelyn has been captain of the Mudgate in King's Landing for 3 years, when Tyrion Lannister arrives to take up the position of Hand of the King in place of his father Tywin, whom was busy fighting the War of 5 Kings in the Riverlands in 299 AC. He is named commander of the City Watch after Tyrion dismisses Sir Janos Slynt. When discussing the matter with Lord Varys, the Spider tells Tyrion that Sir Jacelyn is courageous, honourable, obedient, and most of all, grateful for his new position. Tyrion instructs Jacelyn to make sure that Aladdin is thrown overboard when Summer's Dream sails to Eastwatch by the sea to take him and Slynt to join the Night's Watch. It is Jacelyn who receives Sir Cleos Frey when the latter arrives to give terms from King in the North Robb Stark to Joffrey, or more practically, Tyrion and the Small Council. After Grand Maester Pycelle is imprisoned by Tyrion, Jacelyn defies Queen Cersei Lannister's attempts to free the Grand Maester. During the riots of King's Landing, Jacelyn leads a wedge of mounted lancers during the riots after Princess Marcella Baratheon's departure to Dorne. He later tells Tyrion about the spread of the bloody flux at Pisswater Bend and the growing revolt amongst the smallfolk, and how Tyrion is personally blamed for the hard times. Later, Tyrion orders Jacelyn to find the missing Tyrion Lannister. Jacelyn obeys Tyrion's orders to seize Prince Tommon Baratheon on the road to Rosby, imprisoning Lord Giles Rosby and Sir Boros Blount in the process, and keeping Tommon safe and out of reach of his mother, much to the Queen's anger. For this, Ironhand earns the Queen's enmity, as well as a lordship from Tyrion, speculated by some to potentially be the seat of Rosby itself. During the Battle of the Blackwater, Jacelyn provides runners to Tyrion during the battle. He also gives Tyrion the following warning: no man likes to look craven in the sight of his fellows, so they fight brave enough at the start, when it's all war horns and blowing banners, but if the battle looks to be going sour, they break, and they break bad. The first men to throw down his spear and run will have 1,000 more trotting on his heels. During the events of A Storm of Swords, Bronn informs Tyrion that when King Joffrey I Baratheon retreated to the Red Keep during the Battle of the Blackwater, half of the Gold Cloaks tried to retreat as well. Jacelyn tried to rally them, but was struck in the throat by an arrow. The gold cloaks then dragged Ironhand from his horse and killed him. During a meeting of the small council, Tyrion suggests that Jacelyn's killers should have their knees broken. There is some speculation, given the attempt on Tyrion's life during the battle, that the murder of Jacelyn was part of the same plot. With Jacelyn dead, Cersei sends the Kettleblacks to free Tommon from Rosby. Later, having lost his sword hand, Sir Jaime Lannister considers wearing a golden hand, similar to the iron hand once worn by Jacelyn. And as of the publication of A Dance with Dragons, that is all we currently know of House Bywater.